flat tires suck, but they're bound to happen. And it's no fun to be sitting on the side of the road wailing away with a mini pump when it's dark out, or when it's raining, or when it's hot, or when there's tons of traffic. It's a bunch of wasted time, wasted energy, and a lot of extra stress too, in the best of times. And it's really, really frustrating if you're already feeling down. Cycplus thinks their AS2 Pro and Pro Max electric mini pumps can take a bad time and make it better. Let's see if they live up to the hype, and if one of these little pumps will find a permanent home in my saddlebag. Transparency is critical for trust, and Cycplus sent these for review at no charge. They gave no pressure to give a positive review, but I am free to keep, gift, or sell them after it's done. As always, critically assess any reviews you see on social media for transparency and biasing factors. Cycplus says the AS2 Pro iterates on the original AS2 design by adding about 40% more battery capacity and a display for pressure and battery life. Inflation speed is slightly increased. You preset the desired pressure, and the Pro will auto-stop when that pressure is reached. These features result in an extra 23 grams and a slightly larger size over the original, but they move the Pro into daily use functionality for road, gravel, and some mountain bike scenarios, rather than an emergency pump like the original model. Accessories include these fittings, a hose for small wheels or TPU tubes, a cover, and a plastic bag. The claimed weight is 120 grams, and the current price is $109 US. The included hose is really useful for airing up tires that are a little bit hard to get to, like this mini bike. According to Cycplus, the Pro should inflate my 28mm tires to 80 psi in 60 seconds. So let's check it out. And done in 70 seconds. Not quite what was claimed, but it's pretty close. According to Cycplus, this little Pro should be able to inflate the tire 3 times in total. I'm going to check and see if it actually can do that, and we can use the timer to see about any degraded performance. I've let the unit fully cool down before doing it again. Let's see how it goes. Okay, pretty much the same speed, just a few seconds slower, and we can see now that the battery, see if we can get focused here, the battery is down to 2 bars, so hopefully it's able to do one more time. I'll let the unit cool down and try for a third time. All right, third time's the charm. It's dropped down to 1 bar. Let's see if it can finish. All right, we made it, and it feels like just barely. The unit's getting a little bit hot, but it did just make it to 3 full inflations. So good job, Cycplus. You didn't lie on your website. A torture test of the Pro attempting 3 consecutive inflations with no cooldown resulted in the unit getting really hot and a little bit of smell of burning rubber. It was unable to complete the 3rd inflation when it was really hot and got up to 60 psi. So it's best to avoid such extreme conditions. Give the unit a little break in between uses. It was even too hot to touch, even with the silicone cover. Interesting to note, when the Pro runs out of power, the battery completely depletes and there's not a single bar visible on the display. Let's check the 30-minute charging time now. I'm going to use a high power 20-watt USB charger with USB-C to C and see how it does in 30 minutes. The Cycplus Pro Max has a larger battery, a stronger motor, and should have more capacity. On the website, it even has a picture of a car, so let's see if it can air up my car tire. The hose makes this a lot easier as it has a little attachment for Presta valves, and the base form of the hose is for Schrader valves, like on a car. Seems to be good enough if you're just checking your car's tire pressure, but I don't think I'd recommend trying to air up a whole car tire with the Pro Max. One nice feature with the Pro and the Pro Max though is its tire gauge feature. I know when I'm pumping by hand, I never really know what my tire pressure is, and whether you're checking your car tires or airing up your bike, having a pressure gauge is a really valuable tool. All right, time for the sound test. Our decibel floor here is about 40 decibels. All right, this is the Pro. It measured at about 82, 83 decibels. Next, the Pro Max. It's got the same 80 to 83 decibels, but a bit of a lower pitch, which is a little nicer to the ear. So overall, these pumps match Cycplus's claims for performance, but we should be expecting that. Are they good enough to switch from other inflation systems to one of these electric mini pumps? And if so, should we be choosing the Pro or the Pro Max? To answer these questions, I think a few things really stand out. A big positive with the electric mini pump is just the general user experience. In the past, when I've used my little Lezyne pocket drive here, after 2 minutes, I tested I was able to reach 42 psi on the test tire. At that point, I was starting to sweat a little bit, my arms were getting tired, and anything beyond 42 psi was a little bit labored. And compared to that, 1 minute crouching down, just holding it with 2 fingers, the electric mini pump is a great user experience. Even the larger hand pumps I used when I was a beginner cyclist, they still take more time and more energy. I think just removing that mini hand pump experience, being frustrated on the side of the road, provides a lot of value. The digital pressure display on the Cycplus pumps is a really welcome addition, and they're accurate too. They always seem to match up with my floor pump. Most mini pumps that are made to take with you on the bike often don't have gauges. And if they do have gauges, they're often either imprecise and sometimes maybe inaccurate. Inflating by feel or using those kind of really basic air pressure gauges, it might be okay to get home after a flat on a day ride, but for us ultra-distance cyclists, we might get a flat and still have 500 kilometers to ride. With how important tire pressure is for efficiency and performance, it just makes sense to get the correct tire pressure all the time, even after a flat. This can be more important with tubeless systems because when they seal a minor puncture, we lose some air pressure from the tire in the process of sealing. At the end of the day, or whenever we feel like it, we can use the pressure gauge here to check what the pressure is and give a really fast, really accurate top-up if we have a tubeless system. One of the biggest barriers to carrying one of these electric pumps is that they run on batteries, and so batteries can run out. I'm sure many of us have had rides where we've exceeded the 3 inflation limit of this Pro, and the Pro Max, with 50% or so more battery, offers about 1.5 inflations above that. But fear not, because any ride where you might have so many different flats that these might run out of battery, you probably also have some sort of on-the-bike charging. Something like a battery bank like this, a dynamo system, or at least a wall outlet to plug in at restaurants and hotels. And with the Cycplus Pro having a 420 milliamp battery, my 10,000 milliamp battery bank that I carry, that's not much larger, can charge it about 20 times. That means I don't really need to worry about the battery running out as long as I don't have to pump up 4 tires within about 30 minutes. That also makes the Pro a much more attractive option than the 80 grams heavier Pro Max if we have on-the-bike charging available. Weights of the electric pumps are in line with their hand-powered competitions. For example, the Pro weighs about the same as a mini pump with an integrated or separate gauge, and weighs less than most mid-size pumps. Meanwhile, the Pro Max here, if you strip away all of the accessories, it weighs less than frame pumps and just a little bit more than those mid-size pumps, also with integrated gauges. The Pro is even small enough to fit inside this tiny saddlebag with the rest of the tools that I usually carry, which frees up a lot of frame bag space for things like snacks and clothes. Still, there's space for hand-powered pumps if you want to go with the ultralight style pumps, like the iPump Twist or the Rene Herse Nuda Mini. But for the most part, hand-powered pump manufacturers should be on alert, because these offer a lot of advantages if customers can get over this one small problem: price. Cycplus products are priced premium. I compared 14 top hand pumps to compare weights, features, and current online prices against the Pro and the Pro Max. Adding the cost of a separate gauge for gaugeless pumps, only the offerings from Silco were more expensive. As such, this review will not end up on my budget overbiking playlist. To mitigate this issue a little bit, Cycplus has given me a discount code to share with you. So if you enter the code OVERBIKED at checkout, you'll get 5% off. And if you purchase through the affiliate link in the video description, some of those proceeds help support the channel. Assuming long-term durability works out, the Cycplus Pro and Pro Max offer a lot of advantages over hand pumps and are really compelling products. I think the Pro especially is the real winner for us long-distance cyclists who are already carrying some kind of on-the-bike charging system, whether it's a battery bank or a dynamo. For everything else, like casual rides or doing stuff around the house, I find the Pro Max to be really nice. But I think the Pro is the real winner. I have a 600K brevet coming up next weekend. I'm woefully ill-prepared and unfit for the event, but if I get a flat tire, I'm going to be reaching for this AS2 Pro to help get me back on the road. So thanks again to Cycplus for making this happen. I wouldn't have had access to these products without them reaching out to me. So I really appreciate it. And I think especially this Pro has found a permanent home in my saddlebag. Take care and see you all in the next video.